Hello everybody and welcome to my team career mode on F1 2021. We are now at Russia, and just quickly as it's lights out and away we go, I did have an issue saving the second half of the race, so this will be a quick couple of minute highlights package for Russia before we move on to Suzuka. So we made a decent-ish start. We're going to send it down the inside. It is very, very wet, and we're trying to not cut the corner and gain advantages here. And we moved up to 14th. Our new teammate Schwartzman behind in P15, and we're trying to go around the outside here to see if we can get Giovinazzi. Schwartzman's having a look down the inside, but I'm shutting that one down. I've gone down the inside of Giovinazzi there. That's a little bit of a dirty move. Also, I'm using slightly more worn components here so that I can save the better components for another race. But we're going to take a dive up the inside of Lando Norris here, and that's going to be P12 I think we've gained. And you can see me actually battling Lando Norris a little bit later on in the race. This is taken from the end of race highlights compilation that you get given at the end of the Grand Prix. And you can see me there diving up the inside of Lando and taking P12 again. Once again, though, he doesn't give up. He's staying on the back of me, and he's still wanting another go. He's having a look down the inside. Look how little you can see from that camera. Does it not look realistic? As that's pretty much what they look like when it's raining hard at a Grand Prix. But as you can see, we managed to hold on to P12. Lando's trying to go around the outside of the long sweeper that I believe is turn 3. But we're just holding it out nicely there, and that... Although he did have a look up the inside there, he was going to try and go full send, but we covered him off, and that was that. So in the end, we did manage to hold on to P12. So despite failing to save the second half of the race, as you can see, nothing of major value happened in it. It was just me pottering around in P12. I maintained 11th in the Drivers' Championship, despite not scoring a point. Vettel's moved up to 12th, and Joe H2O Racing still 8th in the Constructors' Championship. So with that all said and done, we now move on to the Japanese Grand Prix. We're having both races in this video, otherwise it would have been a ridiculously short Russian Grand Prix video. So we're now into the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. We're now in qualifying, and the one thing I noticed in practice was that the AI, like with F1 2020, seems to be just bumped up a little bit too much around Suzuka, so we've got a challenging race ahead, and also things aren't going to be made much easier if I take that line again. Latifi is out of qualifying. I've never seen a driver retire from qualifying before. So what's happened here? Oh, someone's come out of the pits, and Latifi's just gone straight into him. That is very unusual. Oh, who's hit him up the back? That's a Ferrari. Ferrari's just smashed him up the back. That's Charles Leclerc, unaware that anything's happened there. Ooh, that is horrific. That is nasty. All I know is that one of the Hasses came out, Latifi went into him, and Leclerc just ploughed into the pair of them. So, I've got to be honest, I've been playing F1 games for a while, and I've never seen an AI incident in qualifying before, so that's a first. Well, unless I'm causing it. But that's not an AI incident. Anyway, we're in qualifying. I'm trying to get through Q1. I've set a lap which is good enough for P16. But will it be enough to hold P16? It sadly wasn't meant to be. And in fact, I'd say we just missed, but we comfortably missed. We were 7/10 off of getting into Q2 there. So, again, struggling for pace round here, but I'm hoping that come the race, we can make something of it.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Ise Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka Circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1. although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Norris, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Raikkonen, Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Robert Schwartzman and Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Joker, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Mick Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Tsunoda, Mazepin, and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. And with preparations almost...
Well, many positions were gained thanks to grid penalties, but 27 laps are ahead of us. It's lights out and away we go at Suzuka. My engine manufacturer's home race. What can we do here? We've been swamped by a Williams and an Alpine straight off the start. George Russell and Fernando Alonso then just getting the complete better of me there. Latifi's trying to stick his nose up the inside, but I'm having literally none of that as we try and go through the first sector. And this is quite possibly one of my weakest sectors on the game, full stop. I really struggle with sector run around here. But in spite of that, I'm going to try and keep up with Russell and Alonso. We're in P17, so we've lost a couple of places off the start. And going wide there isn't going to help me. I nearly went off the circuit, but now we're going to try and line up Russell for an overtake down here. In fact, we're going to go for a double overtake on Russell and Alonso. And have we got that move done? We're still on the inside. Alonso stays alongside, and Alonso's just mugged me off as soon as we hit the accelerator. Alonso, he's done me. He has left me for a bag of chips, but we're going to try and stay on him and try and get the run down the straight. If we can just get through this corner okay, which we have, using overtake to try and get a slipstream and get closer to him so that we may have a dive into the chicane. And we're closing, going wide, going off the circuit. Bravo, Joe. But we're now going to take a dive up the inside of the chicane, and that's a brave one. I'm amazed I managed to get that stopped in time. We have now gained the position on Alonso. We're up to P15. Next up, we're catching Schwartzman, who's having a relatively decent showing so far. I mean, obviously the grid penalties would have helped, but he's got Sebastian Vettel now tucked up behind him for good measure, and I'm trying to tag along with them, because if this is going to get physical, if these two are going to battle, I want to be part of it and I want to take advantage. So I'm getting closer to them, but I'm not close enough. I'm going to have a look, but, well, not really close enough there. And that's a bollard, Joe. That's not even the circuit, Joe. What are you doing there? I feel like I was going for the up and under, but there was just no track left for me to do it. Anyway, I'm right in Vettel's slipstream. I want to have a look, but Vettel's got momentum. And if anything, he's taking a look at Schwartzman, which is just... Well, that's all gone to nothing, really, because Schwartzman had him covered. I'm trying to keep up with them now. I'm pushing quite hard. And, well, I've gone a bit wide there. I've gone quite wide there. And Alonso has tagged, and he's gone round. And he's gone back across the track. I'm sure there's been an incident there. I'm sure someone's got into him. Safety car has come out. Tsunoda is out of the race. Leclerc is out of the race. What the hell has happened? So Alonso's just gone for a gap that doesn't exist. Bang goes Tsunoda. Bang goes Leclerc. Into him goes a Haas. And the other Haas, I presume, just piles right into it. Right, we're now having a look from Tsunoda. Yep, he just had nowhere to go, didn't Yuki? And Leclerc went into the pair of them, and the two Haas's just follow straight into it. Riding on board with Mick, who just... Well, he didn't see Leclerc there quite clearly. And now we're going to ride on board with Mazepin. What? What is that, William? And there's Williams there, just having a moment of his own. So Mazepin goes... Well, Mazepin could have avoided that, but that's just Mazepin doing Mazepin things. And here we see Nicholas Latifi, I think it is, just having his own moment and spinning off all by himself. But anyway, we are now waiting to get back underway. It's only lap 6, and we're right behind Robert Schwartzman. I think Sebastian Vettel may have pitted under all of that, but we're now underway again. George Russell's getting close to me. He might fancy a look up the inside, but I'm having none of that whatsoever. And we're going to try and stay close to Schwartzman, because we're actually in quite a decent position now. We're in P12, and Schwartzman is right behind Raikkonen, who's P10, and we all know what P10 means. It means you'll be in P10. But it also means a juicy World Championship point, which is what we'd like to try and grab from this. Oh my goodness me, we nearly go into Schwartzman there. No, we have got into Schwartzman there. Robert, what are you doing, son? I mean, that was pretty bad driving from my part as well, but I nearly completely clatter into him. And Joe H2O Racing almost imploding there, but and we just about avoid him, but lap after lap I'm behind him. I wish on my team there was a button that says teammate out the way, you know, like engage team orders. I know that makes me sound like such a tyrannical leader, but it would be ideal. Anyway, we're now going to dive up the inside of Schwartzman at the chicane. That is the overtake done. I don't think Schwartzman will be overly happy with that one, but I've been tucked up behind him, and I'm clearly, in my opinion, I was faster, so I'm glad to be through. We're into the top 10 now, which, again, if I can hold on to it, that would mean a point. We're not going to hold on to it by taking that line round there, are we? But anyway, back to it now. We're trying to catch Raikkonen, but again, these lines I'm taking in Sector 1 aren't going to help. Schwartzman's having a look left and right to try and get through, and I do feel like maybe I should have helped him out a bit there, and instead I've just hindered him. And as a result, Daniel Ricciardo has got by, and we're now up into P3, owing to the fact that we haven't stopped yet, and I'm getting very defensive on Daniel Ricciardo. I've gone wide, and I think I've got into him, and there's a Red Bull there that's clattered me, of Sergio Perez, so I'm trying to fight him off as well. This is for race position, I believe, so I don't feel the need to really give this up easily. You know, I'm fighting with the big boys now, and Perez backs off, and I've gone wide anyway. That is not the line round 130R, Joe. That is like the second time. Anyway, we've now pitted after that. And you know what? Quite rightfully so, because I think those tyres were just absolutely finished. And the proof is in that Schwartzman has been able to undercut us. So I'm not going to waste too much time in getting that place back. And again, I just can't help but think. Move teammate out the way button. There's an idea for F1 2022. Implement team orders, but we're now right behind Schwartzman. He's taken the inside of 130R. I've taken my favourite line round there, which I need to stop doing. Down the inside of our teammate, and, well, he gave me the room, and I managed to get back into P13, although Perez has now followed me through, which is the least thing I want for the team. You know, I want Schwartzman right there with me. Verstappen and Latifi have now both pitted, and I've got the jump on both of them. Although having Verstappen behind me is a prospect so scary, for a moment I went straight off the circuit. That's not the line I want to be taking round there. So where are we? We're on lap 14, we're just about halfway through the race. But now I've got a lot of defending to do, and this is starting to remind me of Silverstone, where I was defending 11th furiously in the hope that I would hold on and that someone ahead would drop out and I'd get a World Championship point. Right, Verstappen's getting very close down this straight, but I'm going to cover him. He's got room down the inside there, but he elected not to take that. We're now on lap 17, so there are 10 laps to go, excluding the one that I'm just about to finish. I'd really like to go on that Ferris wheel, actually, to the left. Best view of the circuit, I reckon. Anyway, 10 laps to go, heading into the first corner, trying to chase down both the Alfa Romeos. Well, that's not going to help me. I've gone wide in turn 1. Max is there. He's going to now try and force his nose down the inside. There's contact. There's contact again there. And I don't think I gave him enough space, but I'm not quite sure why he was going for that particular move, as I nearly lose it in the chicane. Max pitted because of wing damage, I think, after he tagged me when I was recovering after going wide at turn 1, so I do apologise for that. Now we've got Ricciardo coming past me, and I couldn't fight that off. I tried as hard as I could to fight him off, but Ricciardo just had so much momentum. A tiny little love tap there, just letting him know what I thought of that move. But now we are down to P12, so I'm needing 2 cars to drop out in order to gain a point instead of 1, as we've now got 2 laps to go, and at this point I'm just thinking, you know what, let's just bring it home. 12th and 13th, not a massively bad result for the team. But Ocon has just dropped out of the race, and he was ahead of us, so that's potentially P11 and 12 for us. And Sainz, for some reason, is dropping back as well. What's happened to Carlos Sainz? You can see Ocon, who's just on the left of me, and Sainz is in the middle of the circuit. Oh, Sainz has had his own off. No idea what Carlos Sainz did. It just looks like he had his own moment completely there, and as a result, we have not gained 1 but 2 places, and that has put us nicely into the points. We are now running in P10, which, if we could hold on to that, means 1 glorious championship point. Predictably, Sainz pitted after his moment, so he must have had wing damage after hitting the wall. I'm really not sure what he did. I wish I could have gone back and had a look at the replay, actually, which I failed to do, because I really wish I'd known what happened to Carlos there. But it is what it is. We are now heading home to bring P10 home. It is a solitary championship point for us in a quite eventful race. I will be happy to take that one. I will be very happy to take that one. Come on! Oh, what the heck? I was trying to weave to cross the line, but I hit the wall. Did I actually make it across the line after crashing, or has Schwartzman got the point? Oh, thanks for telling me, game. You know, that could really help.
So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Right, moment of truth. Do I hold on to that point or not?
So,
yes, I do, and you know what? I am the luckiest person imaginable for that. I was going to try and weave across the line to celebrate my point, but I smashed into the wall, and, well, I had enough forward momentum, I think, to get myself across the line despite crashing, but, oh, that nearly could have been me looking completely stupid there and losing a point, but, no, we still get the point, and we've dropped down in the championship standings because Lance Stroll had a particularly good haul of points from that race. So we're now down to 13th in the drivers' standings. I imagine that we maintain 8th in the constructors, but yeah, that was quite an eventful race, wasn't it? And that shunt at the end, I consider myself so lucky that that wasn't me wiped out of the race and Schwartzman gaining my point. But yeah, thank you for watching this race. Do leave a like and punch the sub button if you are new here. And don't forget to join me the next time I play F1 2021. Or release any kind of content for that matter. Thanks for watching. Bye!